In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure and deploy an instance of cloud databases. And to use a real-world scenario, I've installed WordPress on one of my cloud servers, but I didn't install MySQL. So when I go to the IP address of that server, instead of getting the WordPress configuration screen, I get an error letting me know that that server cannot establish a database connection. And we're going to resolve this with the aid of cloud databases. So let's go into my control panel. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Databases across the top here. And then I'm going to click on Create MySQL Instance. And the first thing I need to do is create a container for that database to live in. So I'm going to give it a name of WordPress. And then I'm going to leave RAM and disk at the default values because I'm going to have an option to increase those values later if I need to scale this database up. My cloud server is currently living in the Chicago region, so I'm going to make sure this cloud database is built there as well. Now, once I have all the information set for my instance, I need to add a database to it. And I'm going to do that by giving the database a name, creating a user, and then giving that user a password. So for database name, call that WordPress. For username, I'm also going to call that WordPress. And we give it a very simple password. Now I click on Create Database and let that build. Now that my cloud database has finished building, I can show you here on the detail screen where I can resize the amount of RAM that is associated with the cloud database and also the size of the disk if I ever needed to scale this out in the future. And also too, if I ever needed to add additional databases or users, I can also do that from this detail screen as well. Now let's go ahead and configure my cloud server to use this instance of cloud database. And in order to do that, I'm going to need this host name here, which I'm going to go ahead and copy. And I'm already logged into my cloud server, and what I need to do is I need to add some values into the wp-config.php file. So I'm going to use vim to open that up. And what I need to do is copy in the name of the database, the username, and the password, as well as that host name string into my wp-config file. So let's go ahead and do that. So for the database name, I called it WordPress. My username is also WordPress. Now for password, I just use password. You obviously would want to use something a lot more secure if this were a production site. And then for hostname, this is where I need to drop in that hostname string that I grabbed off of my detail screen. Now that those values are in there, I can close and save this file. Let's go back to my browser, and now let's refresh my screen here, and you can see it has established a connection to the database, and my WordPress configuration screen is now available.